Hey guys, my name is Camila, and this is the story of how I got it. When I was a kid, I was unbelievably shy. If there was any attention on me, I would curl up into a ball of embarrassment. When it was my birthday and everyone turned to sing happy birthday to me, I would literally start crying. I just could not handle the attention. When I started kindergarten, something happened that stuck with me for like 10 years. Literally. I showed up for the first day of school, all shy and nervous, with a fresh little haircut, it was a little bob, and a book bag that was bigger than I was. When the teacher looked down at my name on the list of new students, she saw my full name. Carla Camila Cabello Estrabao. I know, I've read novels with the lower word count. Here's the thing, okay? My legal first name is Carla. Camila is my middle name. But my whole life, everybody has always called me Camila. At home with my family and friends, I've always been Camila, and with my family, Camila, or Camilita. The teacher looks at my name on the list and she says, "Welcome, Carla." And the thing is, I was too shy to correct her. The other kids started calling me Carla, and I was too timid to say, "Actually, guys, that's not really my name." So it just stuck. After that, I was known as Carla. Years went by, first grade, second grade, and I just kind of accepted it. It almost felt like I was in a box, like it was a character I was playing, and I got typecast as Carla the shy girl. But all those years, I never liked the name Carla. It just wasn't me. Years later, when I was 15 years old, I got the chance to step closer to the real me. I noticed there was an audition coming up in North Carolina for the TV show, X Factor. If you're not familiar, X Factor is a competitive singing show. It's launched the careers of some big artists like One Direction. Growing up, singing was a huge part of my life. All I'd done since I was little was sing songs that I loved. It was pure joy for me. So when I saw that X Factor audition, it kind of lit a spark of motivation. I didn't even think I could win the competition. I just wanted to make it past the audition. My family couldn't believe it. They were like, hold up. You've never sang in front of us. You've never sang in front of anyone, ever. And suddenly you're gonna audition for a huge competition on national television? Yeah, I get their point. You have to understand, I wasn't like some of those artists who sang around the house as a kid. I was way too shy for that. Once when I was little, my grandma wanted to hear me sing. But the vulnerability of someone seeing me sing made me so freaked out that in order to get through it, I asked her to hide in a closet so I could sing from outside the closet. Yep, that's the only way I could cope with singing in front of an audience. An audience of one person who I already knew loved me, who was a grandma. From my family's perspective, this X Factor audition was a surprise. They knew I loved to sing, but they were surprised that I was willing to put myself out there like that when I couldn't even sing in front of them. And they were right. It was a little crazy. But sometimes when there's a spark, even a crazy one, you gotta follow it. So I practiced that audition song like my life was on the line, and this song was gonna save me. Respect by Aretha Franklin. For weeks, I would go over the song, creating my own vocal arrangement, playing around with different melodies and riffs to make it mine. Finally, the time comes. My whole family packs into the car. My mom, dad, sister, and my grandma, who I made hide in the closet years before. We drove 12 hours to Greensboro, North Carolina. In the car ride, I'm listening to my song on repeat, just practicing and going over the riffs I'd come up with. At this point, this song is almost becoming part of my body, which is what I wanted. I was literally listening to it over and over, hoping that my muscle memory would take over if I passed out in front of the judges. You know, gotta have a plan B, right? What I love about my family is, well, the love. They were super encouraging. It was like a little family adventure. But the fact that I was auditioning for a singing show, it was a big surprise to them. No one thought this was going to amount to anything. Before long, we showed up at the venue, and the experience was almost dreamlike. It was a blur of nervous-looking faces and official-looking people telling me to wait over here and stand over there. They bring me into an outdoor waiting area, right? I'm in the middle of this sea of people, all of them waiting to be called in to audition for the judges, and there's a nervous energy in the air. People are pacing, warming up their vocals and texting their friends. I'm guided over to a table where there are a couple of producers for the show. They asked me to fill out a few forms to confirm details for my audition, like my age and hometown. And then they asked me to confirm my name. See, the form had a space for my legal name and my artist name. Your legal name is your legal name. You know, that long one that I said earlier. But your artist name could be whatever you want, like Lady Gaga, which I assume is her artist name unless she had, like, the coolest parents of all time. At that point, I just paused for a second, staring down at the form where it says artist name with a blank space beside it. And I realized something. I looked across the crowd of people and I'm like, none of these people have any idea who I am or what I'm like. All these years I've been in this box, the Carla box, the girl too shy to be herself box. But this is a new day, a new moment, and I'm standing here 1,000 miles from home, about to step on stage and try something I've never done before. The producer's waiting, and I'm just staring at that blank line. I'd never had that choice before of, what do you want people to call you? I scribbled down my name, and I signed the form. Next came another blur of nervous-looking faces and official-looking people. And soon, a producer is guiding me backstage because it's almost time. Here's the thing about on stage versus backstage. On stage is big smiles, lights, and glamour, right? Backstage is wires, concrete, and production assistants rushing around looking stressed with their clipboards. It's not exactly a warm and reassuring place. So I'm backstage, waiting to be called, and my legs are barely supporting my body at this point. I am a cosmic ball of nervousness that is about to collapse under its own gravitational force. From where I'm standing, I can't really see the stage or the judges. All I can see is a sliver of the stage area, and it's all lit up like a beam of light. I'm feeling 1,000 things all at once, kind of in a daze of manic energy. But then I hear someone say something. "Camila," she said, "you're on." So I step out onto the stage and turn to face the judges, smiling like I can't believe where I am or what I'm about to do, and I'm gonna pass out. I'm so nervous, I'm shaking. Britney Spears is looking back at me, and there's Demi Lovato right next to her. I mean, these are my heroes, and I'm standing there, a 15-year-old kid awake inside her own dream. I realize it's time to perform, and the nerves are overwhelming. I'm literally not far from collapsing, and I see black dots like I'm about to pass out, but I could feel something inside. It was faint, but I could feel it in there somewhere. A tiny, glowing little spark of belonging on that stage. They ask you to introduce yourself to the judges and say where you're from. I said, "My name is Camila Cabello." Saying that name connected with something deep. It felt so good. It felt like me. I took a breath, and then I connected with something I had done my whole life, all alone in my bedroom with the door closed and the blinds down, and my grandma in the closet. Just kidding. That was just once. Something I knew was part of the essence of who I am. Something that was pure joy. I'm not going to tell the story of how I survived the X Factor audition, made it into the boot camp, and then got cut in the next round of auditions. I'm not going to tell the story of how I got called back to audition with 4 amazingly talented girls, which became a life-changing opportunity to join the group Fifth Harmony. It's a cool story, but it's not this story. This story began on the first day of kindergarten, and it ended the moment I stepped onto that stage as Camila Cabello. I don't know what this means for you, but I know we all get boxed into our boxes. Sometimes, the world can define us before we have the chance to define ourselves. After some time goes by and you've always been known a certain way, you just believe it. But you don't have to. Maybe this is a chance to Examine the boxes you're in and the things you want to share with the world but haven't yet. Try asking yourself, with total compassion and just curiosity, what's holding you back? Are you worried about what people will think? Are you afraid of failure, or maybe success? Or maybe you're afraid of being seen, and then the truth will be out that you're totally weird. P.S. Mid-20s lesson, weird is the best. We are all weird, either secretly or freely in public. I'm aiming for the second. I was all of those things and more. I still deal with that stuff. But I saw the chance to start over, to start a new chapter, which I'm learning that I guess you do a bunch of different times in your life. I was like, I'm introducing myself to the world. I'm going to be who I am at my essence. This is my name, and this is who I am. And you can do that anytime. I think for a lot of us, there's a gap between who we are inside and how the world perceives us. Well, the world doesn't know who you are yet, but you do. At some point, you gotta let him know. Now I'm actually working on pronouncing my name as Camila, the way that my family always called me, instead of Camila the Americanized way. It's another part of really reclaiming my identity, saying my name how my family said it instead of how my teacher said it. That concludes our session for today, good-looking people. I can't see you, but I just know you're good-looking. I also can't smell you, but I have a feeling you smell fantastic. This is Camila, or now, Camila. Hugs and love. Be joyful, be vulnerable, and when the time comes, take a breath and say your name.